Awakening spiritually is comparable to finally surfacing after a prolonged dive. Suddenly, you find yourself urgently inhaling the crisp reality. While others persist in swimming within a pool of illusions, this awakening reshapes the very fabric of your existence. From this juncture, there's no retracing steps, doors behind you dissolve, leaving only the uncharted path forward. In this newfound liberation, a paradoxical sense of confinement emerges. Picture standing atop a mountain, breathing in the invigorating air, yet observing people you cherish entrenched in the valley below. They appear content, immersed in daily routines, chasing after comfort, power, and the deceptive allure of control. It prompts the question, is my awakening a blessing or a burden? The journey is formidable, but be assured, the expedition holds immense value. Despite the rugged terrain, the panoramas you'll encounter surpass imagination. Similar to any transformative encounter, spiritual awakening ushers in its unique set of side effects, neither inherently positive nor negative, they simply exist. Envision it as a period of adjustment, akin to acclimating to a new altitude. The air you breathe is now different, requiring a gradual adaptation. Today, we'll delve into the less discussed side effects of spiritual awakening, those subtle murmurs for which nobody adequately prepares you, yet nearly everyone undergoes. Envision this scenario: your eyes flutter open after being submerged in a vivid dream, and for an instant, an encompassing hush prevails. Reality rushes in, displacing the silence with queries and perplexing thoughts. Your mind becomes a tempest of inquiries. What just transpired? Is this normal? Why is this unfolding for me? This marks the labyrinth of confusion, a realm where many find themselves post a spiritual awakening. Even if you've invested years in the spiritual journey, poring over sacred texts and immersing yourself in practices, the experience of awakening mirrors landing in an unfamiliar country. The language, customs, and even the air feel foreign. The mind, adept at navigating known terrains, now confronts a territory beyond its mapping abilities. It transcends the bounds of imagination, something you can't brace for with mere thoughts or concepts. So, what do you do when everything feels confusing? It's normal to feel lost, but don't let it turn into panic or obsessive searching. While it might be tempting to find quick answers, sometimes the deepest wisdom comes from sitting with the unknown. There's a lesson in the confusion you're going through. It's like a fog that makes you slow down and pay attention to your surroundings. Instead of constantly seeking outside validation, let moments of silence come in. Silence, in its quiet strength, connects you to a deeper understanding. It links you to a state of being that doesn't need instant answers, a space where you can just be. When you quiet the noise in your mind, you make space for your inner wisdom to speak. So, while it's normal to look for clarity in spiritual texts, remember that the best guide is already within you. You don't always need a map to navigate the journey of awakening. Sometimes, you just need to be still and let the currents guide you. Your journey might be filled with questions right now, but these questions are like signs pushing you to explore more and go deeper. Instead of fearing the unknown, try to welcome it. The beauty of awakening is that it keeps unfolding, showing layers you didn't even know existed. Confusion isn't a roadblock, it's more like a detour, a winding path that might be longer but is full of beautiful views you would have missed on a straight road. See it as an invitation to dig deeper, listen more closely, and practice a level of patience and openness you might not have used before. Feeling disconnected is another part of this transformative journey. It's like discovering a radio station that plays music resonating deep within your soul. But as you tune in, you notice other stations are now static, distorted, or completely silent. This describes the feeling of disconnection that often accompanies spiritual awakening. As you get closer to your true self, you might see changes in the people around you. Interactions with old friends become tricky, and you might find yourself retreating into silence when you used to engage freely. Topics that once interested you now seem superficial, and people who were once your anchors now feel distant, still visible but far away. Your priorities shift quickly. Awakening can feel like you're wearing a new skin, and it's not uncommon to feel lonely during this transformative phase. You might long for meaningful conversations and connections that nourish your spiritual energy instead of draining it. What do you do when you feel disconnected? Feeling disconnected doesn't mean you should go back to your old ways. Embrace the uniqueness of your new self, even if it confuses or alienates others. This journey is about you, not them. As you evolve, it might be tough not to be influenced or hurt by the majority. But it's essential to remember why you started this journey, to be true to yourself. This time of uncertainty and vulnerability needs you to protect your new self like a delicate sprout. Connect with spiritual friends who listen without judgment and offer a safe space for your changing beliefs. Choose places where your heart feels understood, rather than spaces that make you explain or defend your journey. It's like being a young plant in a forest of big trees. Even though they may be much taller, remember that you're growing at your own speed and in your own way. It might feel lonely at first, but you're not on your own. Connect with like-minded souls who can nurture your soul, like rain and soil nurture a young plant. Disconnection is not the end, it's a transition. It's like crossing a bridge from the old world to the new. On the other side, you'll find different but equally important connections that align with your true self. Increased pain is another sign on the journey of awakening. Awakening isn't a magic switch that suddenly makes your ego disappear and fills your life with constant calm. In fact, becoming awakened often means you'll feel more pain, not less. Why is that? Awakening peels away layers of ignorance. It's like turning on a bright light in a room, revealing everything, even the dust and stains that were always there but not visible before. When awakened, you might find it easier to be more aware. However, habits are strong, and sometimes you'll go back to your old unconscious ways. In those times, the contrast becomes clear, and you feel a deeper sense of pain. Before awakening, you might not realize how your actions affect yourself or others. But once awakened, every emotion and interaction becomes significant. This is because your connection to your inner self and the world around you becomes stronger. It's not just about your own pain anymore, you become keenly aware of the suffering of others and even the collective pain of the world. Your senses are sharper, empathy and sensitivity, once secondary, now become the main features of your awakened state. As strange as it might sound, the pain you feel is a positive sign. It shows that you are deeply connected to life. Ignoring the pain won't help. If you try, it will come back even stronger. Instead, find a way to express this heightened sensitivity. Let it out. If you feel like crying, let the tears flow. If you have a scream building up inside, let it out. Channel this emotion into creative activities like writing, painting, or gardening. Expressing pain is not a sign of weakness but of great strength. By giving pain a way out, you're not just releasing it, you're transforming it into something beautiful or meaningful. Think of it like a pressure release valve. If the pressure builds up too much, you need to let some out to prevent an explosion. Essentially, increased pain after awakening is a call to be more genuine, more compassionate, and more attuned to the complexities of life. Acknowledge the pain, but also see it as a tool for deeper understanding and connection, both with yourself and with the world around you. The journey of awakening often brings you to a confusing stage, an existential crisis. Sure, the term is thrown around casually by many who question their place in the world. But when you're truly awakened, the question of who am I stops being a casual puzzle and becomes a pressing issue that eats at you from the inside out. Your old identity, the one you wore like a comfortable jacket, suddenly feels too tight or too loose. It's like you've outgrown it, yet you're not quite sure of your new size. You're stuck in limbo, unable to connect with your old self but also unsure about this emerging you. Questions like why am I here or what's my purpose are no longer just thoughts, they become urgent, making you want answers. This is a confusing time. It's like standing at a crossroads, but instead of 2 or 3 paths, there are countless routes going in all directions. Each one says it's your true path. It's overwhelming, and let's be honest, a bit scary. So, what can you do during your tough time? First, understand that you can't go back. Your old self is done, and trying to go back will only make you unhappy. Second, don't rush. Unanswered questions are uncomfortable, but they also show that you're about to understand things better. If you have a mentor or guide, now's the time to lean on their wisdom. But if you're going alone, trust the universe. Think of it this way: if you're on a long road trip and you don't see any signs, it doesn't mean you're lost. It just means you haven't reached the next marker. Keep driving, enjoy the view, and soon you'll find the sign or signs that guide you to the next part of the journey. Your tough time may feel like a never-ending loop of uncertainty, but it's also a stage that almost every awakened person has to go through. Remember, the fact that you're asking questions means you're growing. Even if you don't have answers now, looking for them is a type of progress. It might not seem like it now, but this is an important step toward understanding who you really are. Another thing that might happen after awakening is feeling like you know something special. The light of awakening can make you feel like you've found some big secret. It's easy to start thinking of yourself as someone special, a guide in a world that seems lost. You might believe that you're chosen or better than others. But, be careful. Your path is yours. Everyone has their own journey, with individual lessons and timing. Trying to speed up someone else's spiritual progress is like trying to force a flower bud to open. It won't make it open faster and could even harm the process. Don't think your understanding gives you the right to give advice no one asked for. Good intentions can sometimes turn into unwanted interference. So, keep your wisdom to yourself unless it's wanted. Your main tool should be love, pure, non-judgmental love. Love can gently guide people to think about new ideas without pressure. Imagine your conversations like a cup of tea. Love is the water, the base, and your wisdom is like the tea leaves, subtly adding flavor but not taking over. If someone is ready and open, they'll ask for more tea leaves. Otherwise, a warm cup of water is comforting on its own. Just a gentle reminder, awakening is a unique and deeply personal journey. Although your insights might seem like the crucial missing piece for someone else's path, they might not be ready to incorporate them into their own life just yet, and that's absolutely okay. So, keep spreading your love openly, and hold on to your wisdom for those who genuinely seek it. Awakening brings both gifts and challenges, a dance between clarity and confusion. Trust in your authentic journey, let it guide you, and let your empathy enrich the world around you. Appreciate you for tuning in. If this resonated with you, remember to show some love by liking, subscribing, and sharing. For more profound explorations into spirituality,